A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Foodie Go-Go. So here we go for number 13 in this whole series. And I can honestly say pretty well that I've come across a lot of new limited time only items, and lots of restaurants are in fact serving some seasonal dishes that a lot of us didn't necessarily see coming. But in the case of Burger King, well, let's just say that they've finally gone on ahead and made us a really dang good sandwich. One of a kind right here. This is the Whopper Melt. One that is in fact made with a whole different kind of bun, and essentially is much like a double stack burger with whatever toppings you choose. So from looking at it for the first time, this is the bacon version that I was able to get a hold of. And I can sure tell you that just by looking at it, getting to understand the inside of it, man, a cross section of all sorts. Now I could sure tell you, it's a lot sweeter than I figured it would. That's probably what happens when you have yourself some caramelized onions. Let's just take a little onion chunk off the side. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So I could sure tell you firsthand that while I'm not necessarily going to be doing a whole lot of things out there related to actually going out to the restaurants and vlogging about that stuff, because it's just typically me by myself here at this house. And I'm technically having a lot of things out there to do with my own work out here anyways. So, it's just really sweet. But just looking at the sandwich for the most part, the sort of sourdough bread that they have on the outside, it's very much like what you'd be able to make at home. The signature quality though that tends to come out of these restaurants or these chains, it's just a lot different than most. If you take a look at the inside, that's quite a cross section. Plenty of cheese, plenty of beef to work with, bacon and onions. A simple concept that happens to carry on pretty far. But in any case, I do say that the patty melt variant of a Whopper, I mean, we don't technically get a whole lot of new Whopper variants. Burger King had gone pretty wild though over the past decade with new Whopper based inventions like the Whopperito, the Spicy Whopper, the Angry Whopper series, which became its own lineage. Angry Whopper, Angriest Whopper Ever, which are just spicy burgers all blended together into an epic sheath of red colored awesomeness. So the latest creation that Burger King had made, a Whopper Melt. A patty melt that has their trademark sort of Whopper taste. Although it doesn't necessarily have all the Whopper ingredients built into them, this one sure is a win. Though I do feel like that they could have added a lot more to it to make it be as Whopper as possible. Man. The kind of sauce that they have alongside the caramelized onions, it's one of a kind. But you know what though? I'd say it's still a win. Although I'm not really sure about having to spend $6 on just this one sandwich. But it's probably doable. If you can find yourself the time to get the money you need, then well, I'll be able to finish off the rest of this later. So, in any case, well, that's pretty much it. And if you thought that this was pretty short, let me just say that while I was out, as I've spoken about before, well, lots of restaurants in my area especially are unveiling some new pieces of art in the food industry. So, well, if you thought that I was going to do this today, you'd probably be wrong, because unlike a couple of times that I've done so far, where I have basically had more than one item at the same time, let's just do ourselves a little double dealing, which is a process where I'll basically have one episode put together and then I'll have another episode made at the same time. Yet, you're gonna have to wait till next month. So do be able to turn in at that time, whichever one I choose, of course, to have this episode released. So, this comes from Chick-fil-A. This is pretty much gonna be your only hint. It'll be up to you to figure out exactly what menu item from them I'm specifically talking about here. Yet, that's pretty much all I will have to offer for today, though. Keep on guessing now. But if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.